completely and totally safe, right? I'll have to probably prop it if I make a sharp turn, but I have a new toy. I hope this thing works the way it's supposed to. HyperTough 20-volt battery operated 8-inch pole saw. Is this thing any good? I got it from Walmart, and I've got some small limbs I need to cut down and some wild muscadine vines, so let's see if this thing's gonna work. Features of the HyperTough 20-volt Max Cordless 8-inch pole saw. Has an 8-inch blade, automatic oiler, 2-year limited warranty, and the telescopic range goes from 7.5 feet to 9.5 feet. Again, it comes with a 20-volt battery that is included. Always check that when you're buying battery operated, because sometimes if it looks like it's a really good price, it doesn't include the battery. You have to buy this separately, and it can be quite pricey. Again, there's the contents: the pole saw, battery charger, and the battery. Here's some information about the battery. And I believe that these HyperTough models are made exclusively for Walmart. So we have this piece. This piece. Instructions. The blade, a strap, the battery, the battery charger. And here's the chain. We have a chain install guide. The first thing we'll have to do is to charge the battery. Some key points on this one is it's not necessarily to run the battery completely dead before you charge it. It doesn't have a memory, so whenever it's convenient for the owner, you can take the battery out of the tool and charge it, and it just tops it off. And we'll do this part in just a second. Another thing to note is you can't charge the battery when it's hot, and you can't charge the battery when it's cold. You need to wait till it pretty much gets to room temperature to do that. So this is the charger, and it has little LED lights. So when you see a red and a green light here, that means it is charging. When you see it a white or an off and the green lights over here, that means it's fully charged. I'm going to take this component with the two metal bands, slide them into here. Feels like that's a good fit. Plug it in, and we see indeed that we have a red light and a green light indicating that it is charging. The instructions are provided in English and in Spanish. However, the quick start guide comes in only English. So it has a lot of blah 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 at the beginning. It repeats a lot of the same information over and over and over again. It does have a nice graphic showing you the pieces and how the pieces go together. The graphics on the assembly are a little confusing. it kind of jumps around. It goes to figure 4, 1, and then it goes back to figure 3, then it goes back to figure 2. So you really have to take some time, if you have not done this before, to sit and figure out what are they talking about and what are all the pieces. I have assembled a battery-operated chainsaw from Works before, so I'm hoping that makes this a little bit simpler. I've tried to position my real one the same way that these are to walk through this process. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is to loosen the locking screw and remove the cover. It does have directions on it for unlocked and locked. So this whole cover is supposed to come off. And it does. So we'll set this piece aside. This is going to be that piece. Now we need to get the blade and the chain on. So here's my blade. And here's the chain. It tells you to wear gloves when you're handling the chain. First thing we'll do is to put the blade on. We're going to put the longitudinal hole, the long hole, over this screw that sticks out here. It says to position the bar with the longitudinal hole on the threaded bar. Do that. Ensure that the chain tensioning plate points forward, figure 4-1. It doesn't have a 1. Yeah, there it is. So that's that. That's forward. Check for correct seating of the guide screw on the rear side of the bar and the guiding groove, figure 3-1. So we jump back up to 3-1. And that's going to be the little screw underneath the screw that sticks out. Not really one there. I guess it means that. Position the bar as close as possible to the sprocket. We did that. Place the chain around the bar and the drive sprocket, figure 2.4. Figure 2.4. The chain guard package gives you some general information about using chainsaws. Straighten it out. So the chain needs to go on just like the little graphic at the bottom of the blade. So here's the little graphic. So this is the wrong way because on the graphic it shows the curved end down and the flat end at the back. And this has the curved end on the back and the flat end on the front. So this is incorrect. So I'm going to put the teeth of the blade down in that little groove. And now we see that we have the flat end here and the curved end going forward. supposed to put it on there so that it is all the way this. Push the bar as close as possible towards the sprocket. So we now have all of this part done. Now we're ready to put the cover and tighten it with a locking screw. So it tells you that that locks it and that unlocks it, the cover. Now we're ready to tension the chain. The hot rod gets by. So the chain is not supposed to sag. It's way too loose right now. I've got to tighten it up. So we have to unscrew the locking wheel, what we just did, enough to turn this to make it tighter or looser. And I think it needs to be tighter. So I'm going to turn just the red part. Still too much. Still too much. It's a little bit better. I'm telling you, it's supposed to be about 1/8 of an inch that you can pull down. Still too much. So I want to turn the red a little bit more. That appears right. And now you have to manually rotate the chain to check for fault-free running. Maybe it's too tight. There we go. I think it's too loose, so I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more. That seems to be the happy point. And then I'm going to tighten this back up again. Alright. The next step on the instructions is to fill with a cutting chain oil. Remove the battery pack. I haven't put it on there yet. And it tells you all this good stuff. And it says to use a special biodegradable vegetable oil. It should be used as a chain oil, but I'm going to use some regular bar and chain oil that I have. So, simple. Unscrew the tank, save it, fill with oil to the indicator on the other side, replace the top. So I'm going to turn it around because the indicator is right here. And it says to fill to about almost 1/2 of an inch below the bottom edge of the filler, so it would be nice from the bottom edge of the filler. Maybe it's talking about this is the filler. Whoops, too much. And if I screwed this up, I have a video up of how I used an old lotion pump bottle to remove oil from my lawnmower. So all I do is this one's turn it upside down. That should work. Now we need to check the quantity of oil in the tank, but I'm not going to do that yet because the battery hasn't finished charging. So I'm going to go ahead and put the telescopic arm to the chainsaw unit by inserting this chainsaw unit that into the holder of the telescopic arm. That. Fully tighten the fastening sleeve. Note the polarity markings of the contact, and then we'll put the carrying belt on. So inside the handle end, there's little metal things in there. Inside the chainsaw end are little metal things as well, so I guess they have to connect. It'd be nice if they would give you some guides about how to do that. I don't see anything on the outside to guide us that way. You can't really tell if it's in correctly or not. This screws down, so this opens up like that. Tightens up like that. This is kind of disappointing and weird. This doesn't stay on. Unless I've missed a step somewhere. You think that it would stay on for storing, but it doesn't. This part looks simple enough. So I have it assembled, and now we just have to wait until the battery charges. Not done yet. Battery appears to be fully charged now. Let's remove it and try in our pole saw. I'm going to slide the battery in. Clicks in like that. And we're supposed to test to see if it has oil on it. We're supposed to spray oil. Let's see, maybe a little bit. This is my first use with the 20-volt pole saw. I didn't extend the telescopic arm as long as it would go because it is a little awkward and I want to get used to just the regular mechanism of it at first. Also, I tried to wear the strap over one shoulder as it suggested, but that didn't work. So I did a crossbody, which they tell you not to do, but it was really the only way that it was going to work for me at all. My immediate property is overrun with wild muscadine vines. They're quite thick, and some of them are quite troublesome, as you will see. And I was hoping that this would really get some of the long dangling ones down that I've cut close to the bottom. I don't think it's going to help until they get a little bit more dried out, and possibly it will help me then.
probably shouldn't have been doing this, but I wanted to see if it would cut some of the muscadine vines closer to the ground. And I have loopers and a chainsaw for this, but this was handy and just wanted to test it out and see if it would work.
Not wonderful, but not horrible. Chain slipped off one time, but I was making it do something it wasn't supposed to do. I was trying to cut a little tree down. So, no worries. I'll just put it back on, begin again tomorrow. Thank you for watching my video about the HyperTough 20-volt battery-operated 8-inch pole saw. Remember, it's free to give the video a thumbs up. It's free to leave a comment below. Check in the text below, and I'll provide a link where you can find a product like this, if not this exact one. If you have time before you go, watch another video, and in the meantime, let's just help each other become better consumers and keep things clean and tidy. Bye.